Time is it? So I got the watch. 11:02. Anybody have questions?
All right, and I present to you Emily EAylor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily EAylor, and I did my senior project on mindfulness in the classroom. A little background on mindfulness. Mindfulness is being aware of your feelings and your surroundings and your breathing, and it's rooted in Buddhism, but today it's used for a lot for secular purposes, like in classrooms, in prisons, and PTSD, people who suffer from PTSD. I focused on it in the classroom. My burning question was, what are the effects of mindfulness in the classroom, and how can it best be implemented within the classroom? I was fortunate enough to work with Kristen Race, who is an expert. She has done TED Talks. She does seminars with schools, which is actually how I found out about her. My mom works at Grimes Memorial School, and I went there from pre-K to 8th grade. It's kind of like home. And she did a seminar there, and about it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I didn't really take interest in it, but then when it came time for my senior project, I really wanted to do something in the classroom, but I couldn't find a question that really got me interested and got me excited. And then past governor school teacher Tammy Campbell brought up mindfulness, and she gave me this book, and she was like, Emily, just read it. Just look at it and see if you find any interest in it. And I read it, and I fell in love. And I thought that was so cool that you could have such a positive impact on kids just through making them focus on their breathing and focus on their behavior. And so I was fortunate enough to work with Dr. Kristen Race. She's written several mindfulness books, but she was a virtual mentor. I didn't get a chance to meet her in person. It was just through email. But she was great. My other mentor, who was my in-person mentor, was Kimber Keating. She's the pre-kindergarten teacher at Grimes Memorial School. She was amazing. She welcomed me into her classroom. I came to back to school night. I was on all the papers as Miss EAylor. I was considered a co-teacher, which I just felt that was really meaningful to me, that I was part of their classroom. I wasn't just an intern. I wasn't just someone coming in and out. I was part of their classroom. This is a picture of me on a field trip with my kids. I did get to experience some fun stuff, not just my internship. I got to go on field trips with them, and we were on a hayride. This is one of my little friends, Maisie. My community service, for my internship, I just was in the classroom. I went in during 4th block every day for me, and we did mindful breathing, we did mindful exercises, yoga, just things to get them focused on themselves and being aware of themselves. For my community service project, I created a lesson plan for teachers to pass out to elementary school teachers. I have hard copies, but it's mostly online. It's all interactive. So if you click on each corner of the triangle, then it takes you to the exercises and things like that. Miss Wilson was my community service mentor because it was a fairly independent project. She kind of oversaw me making sure I was doing all my work, and I was one of the cats she was herding, she would say. So that's on my website. I'm really excited about it to pass it. I haven't given it out to any teachers yet. I'm still putting the finishing touches on it. But I'm really, really proud of my lesson plan because it's things that I used. My impact on my kids, there was a specific moment that I knew that I had done something. One of my kids who's right here, this is Ellie, we did a mindfulness activity where we all sat in a circle, and one person would lay their hand over top of another hand, and then one would be under, and you pass that day, and it was around Thanksgiving. And it was passing our gratitude. So I was sitting next to Ellie, and someone passed it to her, and she thought she made this cute little face, thinking really hard. And she said, I'm grateful that Miss EAylor is here. And she passed her gratitude to me. And it's like, I knew right then that I was doing something for these kids, and they were learning something, and they were taking something away from what I was giving them. I worked with such a great class. They were awesome. My lesson plan is also my legacy. I'm hoping that once I give it out, teachers will, I can pass it out and they can use it for however long they feel necessary, because it overall, the impact of mindfulness on the classroom is extremely positive. I found no negative effects in my research. Better, they're so focused on how something made them feel that then they start to realize that that's, if, you know, taking a toy from someone makes them feel sad or makes them feel sad, but then they realize through mindfulness that after, you know, they realize how the other person feels, they show more empathy. And I just thought that was amazing that by the end of, I guess they're still in school, but the end of my time there, they were using I statements, so, or that made me feel, or I didn't like that, or that made me feel sad, because they were in tune with how they were feeling and what made them upset, and they were more aware of what everyone else was feeling as well. I learned a lot through this project. First, all the content about mindfulness and the history of it, and kind of the basics, but I also learned that as a teacher and as an educator, you learn through your kids. You're not teaching them. I learned as much, if not more, from my kids than I taught them. And I found that so amazing. I also found that I'm going to continue my career in education. I love it. Maybe not mindfulness so much, but in education, I loved being there. I would come home exhausted and, you know, just so exhausted, and I would be so happy. I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So that it really taught me, and then certain things like classroom management and basic things that you need as a teacher. If I could do this again, I would take more pictures, or I would plan better for pictures, because I had to get permission from parents before I could take pictures with their kids and things like that. And I did get a few pictures with my kids, but I would plan better so that I could get more pictures of me, like interacting with them and doing mindful activities with them. I wish I would have had more contact with Kristen Race. It was through email. I wish I could have maybe like video chatted her, or had a very long, drawn out conversation rather than just a few quick emails back and forth. But other than that, I'm really happy with my project. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I'm really happy with what I've learned and what I've taken from this. This has been such an amazing experience to be able to work with these kids. So for the class of 2018, for you guys, Jacob kind of said what I wanted to say, or part of it, that if you find something that you love and you're going to do it, it's not going to feel like work. You're going to enjoy what you're doing, and you're going to, it's not going to feel like an assignment for school. You're going to be doing something you enjoy and you love, and if you don't pick something that you're super passionate about, it's going to be painful and it's going to be hard, and you're not going to enjoy it. And that's not the point of this project. It's to enjoy something and learn something about yourself. And I think that's what you need to take away from us, our advice, and what I'm telling you. And I also want to say, when you feel overwhelmed in this project, because you will, I promise, you're going to get through it. It's going to, you know, at some point it's going to end, I promise. And you're going to get through it, and you're going to be better because of it. And if you ever have any questions about it, feel free to contact us. We'll be in college, but we're happy to get back to you on that. My future plans, I'm heading to CNU in the fall, and I am enrolled in the 5-year master's program for education, with a major in social work and a minor in childhood studies. So that's exciting. And now, do you all have any questions?
Could you tell us a little bit about your lesson plan?
Yes. So there are 3 here. I'll go back to my little triangle there. So I made it interactive because as a teacher, you really, as a pre-K teacher, you don't have time to go through and read this big long of a lesson plan and try to find what you need. So I made it interactive and pretty simple. Each corner is my Kimber Keating taught me that, there are kind of 3 corners of mindfulness, and I really took, that really made an impact on classroom. The first is mindful breathing. That's there's a big paragraph on like what to do or what different exercises. A lot of it's just making them kind of sit in a mindful position and breathe and focus on their breathing. There are also tips for kids who are in struggle based on their breathing and trying to get them to calm down. I've actually used it not in my internship classroom, but I'm in service learning, and I've used one of my techniques for kids in struggle who are upset or flustered, and it's worked very well. Mindful senses is that's kind of a combination of a bunch of things: mindful seeing, mindful hearing, mindful listening. And that one, there are different exercises based on seeing things and hearing things. Like one of my mindfulness hearing exercises is having your kids close your eyes or look at the floor, make random noises, and see what and they have to guess what it is, because they have to focus on their hearing and they have to focus on what they're listening to. The mindful movement is like meditation and yoga. A lot of it is yoga poses, but all of this is adapted. All these exercises are great, and adults can use them too, but I kind of molded them to fit a mindset. I mean, you could say, take a mindful breath, but they don't know what you're talking about. You have to, make it to, you have to make it fit them. So whether it's saying take a volcano breath or take a dragon breath, they respond better to that than they do to just to say take a mindful breath. But that's more my community service. I'm hoping to leave that for teachers, and hopefully they can use it to the best of their ability.
Did you look at any social scientific research? I mean, you've commented on it's effective in your experience, but is there research out there that shows that mindfulness training in the classroom has a positive effect on behavior and on learning?
As I was writing my research paper, that was kind of what I was looking for, to see. I mean, I saw it, but is this what's true for everyone else practicing? And I did find scientific research that it does help a lot, and it's very effective in behavior, academic performance. That was something that I covered in my paper, that students benefit academically from using mindfulness because they're focused and they are paying attention and they're more involved in what they're doing. They're aware. And I actually met someone in Georgia with Sarah when we went to Habitat, who did a 2-year undergrad study in mindfulness, and he kind of gave me some cool info and we had a good conversation about mindfulness and its effects. He did it with adults and I did it with kids, so it was cool to compare.
Emily, Mrs. Dean asked the question that I had, so I won't belabor that one. I just wanted to say, as a member of the school board, we're very interested when we think we have great teachers who, when some of them retire or leave or whatever, we want to replace them with the very best. So we're hoping that you will apply to your county when you complete your 5-year